Your alert says one user logged in from a new country at 2:13 a.m. The analyst opens the SIEM. There is no endpoint data, no cloud audit trail, no DNS, no email logs. Just one login event and a bad feeling. Was it travel, token misuse, a compromised mailbox, a false positive? Nobody can prove it. That is the point of SIEM log sources. Your SIEM can only connect what you feed it. A missing source is a blind spot attackers live in. SIEM log sources are the systems, services, and tools that send security events into your SIEM. Plain English, they are the evidence feeds. A SIEM collects those events, normalizes them, searches across them, correlates patterns, and supports detection, investigation, and response. That lines up with the NIST-style job of security monitoring. Know what happened, where it happened, who was involved, and what action to take. A beginner can say it this way: the SIEM is the investigation table, and log sources are the case files. If the right case files never arrive, the best analyst still has gaps. Before a SIEM has the right log sources, the SOC works by swivel chair. One tab for identity, one for endpoints, one for email, one for firewall logs, one for cloud admin activity. Each tool has a piece of the story, but nobody sees the timeline in one place. Analysts waste time copying usernames, IPs, device names, and message IDs between consoles. Worse, detections fire without context. A suspicious login is handled as an identity issue, while the endpoint story sits somewhere else. The SIEM solves the shared evidence problem. It gives the team one searchable timeline across the sources that matter. Here is the basic flow. First, systems generate events: sign-ins, process activity, network connections, DNS lookups, admin changes, mail actions, and security tool alerts. Second, those events are forwarded into the SIEM by agents, APIs, syslog, collectors, or cloud integrations. Third, the SIEM parses and normalizes fields so different sources speak a common language: user, host, source IP, destination, action, time. Fourth, rules and analytics correlate events across sources. One event may be normal. 5 related events may be suspicious. Fifth, analysts investigate from the timeline, pivot across fields, and document response. Good SIEM work starts with good source selection, not fancy dashboards. A SOC receives an alert: an employee account signed in from an unfamiliar location outside normal hours. Identity logs are the first stop. They show the user, time, device claim, authentication result, and risk signals. The analyst pivots to endpoint and EDR telemetry. The employee laptop was online, but no matching activity came from that location. Next, email logs show a rule created minutes after the sign-in. DNS shows the laptop did not contact the mail portal at that time. Cloud control plane audit logs show mailbox settings changed by that session. Now the story is clear enough for response. Disable the session, reset credentials, remove the mail rule, review similar accounts, and close the loop with evidence. A SIEM is strong at correlation, search, timeline building, alerting, and evidence retention. It helps analysts see identity, endpoint, network, cloud, email, and DNS activity together. But a SIEM does not create facts that were never logged. If cloud audit logs are off, the SIEM cannot show admin changes. If DNS is missing, it cannot explain name lookups. If endpoint telemetry is thin, process-level questions stay unanswered. It also does not replace EDR, firewall policy, email security, or access control. The SIEM is not magic prevention. It is the place where security evidence becomes useful, if the evidence arrives cleanly and on time. Think of the SIEM as the central evidence layer in the defensive stack. Identity and authentication logs come first, because modern investigations usually start with who signed in, from where, and with what result. Endpoint and EDR telemetry adds device truth, processes, detections, files, and host activity. Firewalls, network sensors, and DNS show traffic paths and name lookups. Cloud control plane logs show administrative actions in cloud services. Email logs explain message delivery, clicks, mailbox rules, and user actions. UEBA can sit on top of SIEM data to model behavior and flag unusual patterns. But UEBA is only as good as the data underneath it. If you are starting from zero, do not onboard everything blindly. Rank sources by investigation value and business risk. First, identity and authentication logs. include successful logins, failed logins, MFA events, password changes, privilege changes, and session activity. Second, endpoint and EDR telemetry for managed devices and servers. Third, firewall, network, and DNS. Fourth, cloud audit logs, especially control plane activity like admin changes, access policy changes, key use, and resource creation. Fifth, email security and mailbox activity. Then validate parsing. Are usernames consistent? Are timestamps correct? Are IP fields searchable? Build a few use cases before chasing volume: suspicious sign-in, privilege change, endpoint alert with network context, and a cloud admin change review. Recap in 3 beats. 1. SIEM log sources are the evidence feeds your SIEM needs to detect and investigate. Identity and authentication logs are number 1 because many investigations begin with account activity. 2. Endpoint, EDR, firewall, network, DNS, cloud audit, and email logs add the context that turns an alert into a timeline. 3. Every missing source creates a blind spot, and blind spots slow response. If this helped, subscribe. A new Security Tools Decoded episode drops daily, and this channel also posts the daily ranked CVE brief, so defenders know what to prioritize first.